Hello, I am Wanderer001 and this is my review of the Black Diamond Storm 160 lumens headlamp. Now, this is the older model of the Black Diamond Storm. There is a newer model that is 250 lumens. I have the older model, but I'm doing this review because I still feel that the older model does have a place in your backpack or home repair kit. And what I mean by that is I don't normally go out hiking after dark. I do it during the day when it's daylight out. I'm not an overnight hiker. However, this was given to me as a gift for some work that I did for a family member who is a hiker and does all of that overnight stays and works for the Forestry Service and all of that. So I'm taking their recommendation on that this is a good product, albeit Black Diamond as a company is a good product. But for me, this is excellent because I do a lot of repairs and stuff around my own house, and sometimes when you're working with electricity and there's no windows around, you have nothing to see by except a lantern or a handheld flashlight, or in this case, a headlamp. Now, to give you a demonstration of why I think this is a vast improvement over what I was using, this is the old headlamp that I was using. It's got a filament bulb in it and everything. It is adjustable and has a little padding back there, but this is what I was using. This is an antique at this point. Anything that this can do, this pretty much cannot. So just keep that in mind. Even like for a size comparison there, just throwing that in there for a piece of information. So what you're looking at here is a headlamp that is IP7 water resistant, meaning that you can submerge this in 1 meter of water, which is 3 feet for those in the US, for up to 30 minutes and not have any problems. You also get, as part of that waterproofing, and I will show you that a little later in the back there, you get a main headlamp that has 4 LEDs with a maximum output of 160 lumens, and depending on that output, you either get a minimum burn time, or how long the lamp will last, of 200 hours at its dimmest with the main, or 70 hours if you have it turned up all the way. Now, again, depending on the min-max, if you do minimum burn, you're looking at a distance of only 3 meters, which is 9 feet US, or a maximum of 70 meters, which is roughly 229 feet US. The other beauty of this is, aside from the main headlamp, you also have 2 white LED proximity lights as well as 2 red proximity lights. So you've got a chance to use these and not screw up your night vision. Coming along to the side here, you have an indicator for both lock and power level. Now, it will show green, yellow, and red, and that all depends on full battery, partial battery, and just about out battery. The lock is indicated by if you press and hold this top button, and this is how you actuate all the lights, for 6 seconds, it will put it into a lock mode. So you saw it was blinking blue, and every time I touch the top button, it continues to blink. Now what that means is it's in lock mode, so it's not going to turn the lights on if you carry this in your backpack or toolbox. Now, yes, you will use a little bit of power to flash that light there, but it will be a heck of a lot less than using any of the headlamps up front. Now, to turn it off, all you have to do is hold down on the button again for 6 seconds, and there you go. Brings it back. Tapping it on turns it back on. Now, speaking of the LEDs themselves, you saw when I tapped the top button, it shows green on the side there because I have full battery, and that is the main LED. Now, if you press and hold the top button, you will notice that it can go down and dim and then comes back up. Once it gets to the top point of either, you will notice that it flashes, letting you know that it's the lowest that it possibly can be. Now, while I have the main LED here on, I'm going to talk about something that I really like with this headlamp, and that is what they deem power touch technology or power tap technology. It's located on the right-hand side of the unit, and if you touch on that little area, you'll notice that it goes all the way to the brightest setting, and touching it will bring it back down. Now, I think that's really cool because if I'm doing something maybe, and I have the proximity lights on and I want to max out the proximity lights, I just tap on that and I can see what I'm doing even better, or I can bring it back down for if I'm working close up. Now, the only thing that I have to say about the power tap button is I kind of wish it was on the other side where the battery and lock indicators are. Now, that's primarily because I'm a right-handed individual, and when I'm using tools, I'm using them in my right hand and would like to just reach up and touch it with the left side. But that's just a small gripe on my part. Tapping it will then turn off the lights. If you want to get into the proximity lights, you click 2 times and that will turn on your proximity lights. So there you go. It's cycled on the main light and then I hit the proximity lights. Just like the main light, if you press and hold the top button, they will dim and come back up and blink once they get to the top setting. Now, I'm going to bring that down a little bit just to show you that the power tap button works for these as well. And I'm just going to tap that off. And again, if you want to bring your main back up, 1 tap. That's all you have to do. Now, I did mention that this has red LED proximities. To turn those on, you just press and hold for 3 seconds, and there you go. Might be a little hard to see on camera. Hopefully those are showing up, but just like everything else, press and hold the button, and they will go up and down in brightness and blink when they get to the min-max. And just like everything else, power tap does work just fine with the red. Now, it does do strobing. I particularly don't use strobing, but if you wanted to actuate that, and again, because I don't go hiking with this, I don't use it for that particular instance, but if you wanted to, 3 quick taps, and it will strobe the last thing that you were in. If I bring it back to this one, the main, I just go 1, 2, 3, and there you go, it strobes the sides. Now, it is only the proximity lights that get strobed, it is not the main LED, so you'll never be overly blinded by that. So now that we've covered the actual lights themselves, little demonstration of what they look like here, and I do apologize, my camera is not the best when it comes to night. All right, with the lights out of the way themselves, we can get to kind of sizing for this. You saw that really big headlamp. Well, here is this headlamp on a deck of cards. Now, it is a little bulky when you look at it this way. However, I do kind of like the sleek, trimmed down design. The button on the top I wish was a little easier to find, but that's a small gripe. You can actuate how this sits once it's on your head. You do have 3 positions that you could do. Hopefully you heard clicking. You have a stretchy elastic band, so you can adjust this fully to fit on your head, or if you're, again, using it for outdoor activities, over a hat or over a helmet. Now, coming back around to the back, you will notice that the band itself is part of what's going to give you a little bit of cushioning, unlike that ungodly big thing that I brought in that had its own cushioning. This really doesn't have its own, it just utilizes the strap. If we come around to the back, this is the portion that you would open up in order to put in or change the 4 AAA batteries that run this particular device. Now, you'll notice that there is a flathead screw, or you can try and do it by hand. Now, I have tightened this really, really good, so I'm just going to use a flathead screwdriver really quickly for the purposes of this review. So once I loosen that up a little bit, I can then toggle the rest with my hand. And there we go. You cannot really see the 4th battery because it's underneath the middle guy there, but I opened it up here so that you can kind of see there's some rubberized areas all around the back here, and that is what gives you your waterproof housing. So you really don't have to worry. I mean, I've done some reviews of things where they say they're waterproof, and this is just like a plastic lip, and it's not really going to do anything. This is actually rubberized, so eventually it may wear out, but at least for the time being, you're going to get a really good water-resistant seal with that. Now, again, you can tighten this back down by hand, but if you really want to get a good lock, but you're out in the field and don't have a screwdriver with you, worry not. Here on the adjuster strap, it actually fits right into where the flathead would go. So if you wanted to tighten it down even further, you could just use the adjuster strap here. And granted, you're probably not going to get it as tight as you would with a screwdriver, but if you're out and trying to keep your pack light, you can use this. And you can see I kind of have used it before in testing, so it is a little chewed up, but it's not going to do that bad. And again, depending on how long you use this for is how much batteries you would need to consider packing with you. If you're going to do like a really quick overnight pack and you put fresh batteries in here, you're probably not going to have to worry about replacing them, but it's nice that Black Diamond thought ahead for those that don't want to actually carry extra tools with them. Now, what you've been looking at here is the orange variant. The person who gifted this to me likes orange things for their outdoor gear. It does come in several other colors, which I will list in the description area below. Now, aside from the fact that maybe you're an indoor person like I am using this for around the house stuff, why would you consider getting the 160 lumen version over the 250 lumen version? Well, that's partially due to the price. The 250 lumen Black Storm headlamp is more expensive. It just came out. This one is probably between 1 year to 2 years old, which means that you can pick it up anywhere from $50 to $35 depending. You can still find it on Amazon, link in the description below if you're interested, or in a sporting outgood store. And again, because there is a newer model out, the older model is always cheaper. So aside from those few little gripes here and there that I have about it, again, I didn't pick this out for myself. It was a gift, but I actually like it. I like it a lot. So with that said, I have been Wanderer 001. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the area below. And as always, thanks for watching.